Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we have our 3-week update on this graphene sealant test that we're currently running on the channel, which will be on this test panel right here. So if you guys haven't seen the previous videos, we applied all 4 of these products, 3 of them being graphene based sealants and 1 being a traditional sealant. Because this traditional sealant is actually our current winner from the previous test that we did. So it's moved forward to see how it does against these lot. So quickly run through what we have. We have Ethos Resist graphene hybrid coating, 303 graphene nano spray coating, the Turtle Wax graphene infused flex wax, and Bowden's own bead machine for our non-graphene based sealant. So yeah, 3 weeks ago, well, actually a month ago now, I guess, we applied these onto this test panel. So you can see I've written where each one is. So they're in separate sections, all applied as per directions. And yeah, the panel has sat outside in the sun every day since. And you can see it's pretty dirty and dusty. Probably not really showing up too well, but yeah, this thing, we've had a lot of hot days, a couple of rainy days, so a good mix of weather for the last week. So what we're going to be doing is rinsing it down, seeing how they're looking before we wash, giving a quick wash with Carpro Reset, and then once we rinse that off, we'll check our water behavior through both sheeting and beading. So yeah, with that said, let's get right into it and give this a rinse. So hopefully you guys can see this well. I did decide from now on I'm just going to do these in the garage because it's got aircon in here and it's really hot at the moment, so hopefully the light is okay. But so yeah, we'll give this a rinse. Probably change the hose function first. Okay, so just want to rinse this whole thing off. So before washing, quite a clear difference in the water, but that just may be some contamination sitting on top. I don't think it is though, but we will now give it a quick wash and yeah, we'll keep going from there. All right, so grab our Carpro Reset. And just a quick, easy wash. There we go, and we'll rinse that straight off. All right, so we've washed it and we've rinsed it down. So now we can attempt to flood each section. So I'll start over this side on the Bowden zone. So we're gonna try and flood each section and see just how quick the water sheets off. Some of them we may not even be able to flood them. Now we'll point out these 2 end ones. I've got the panel sitting pretty flat, but obviously these 2 end ones do have a little bit of a curve just in the panel itself right there. So the water may sheet off a little bit quicker. It just gives it a little advantage, but yeah, we'll just point that out first, and then let's just try and completely flood this section with the Bowdens, which you can see is impossible. It starts to sheet off before I can actually get the whole thing done. So yeah, still super hydrophobic. And if this is the first video you're watching, you didn't watch the last week's one, on the edge here, I actually have the tape line, so the product is just applied up to that line there. So they're all in a nice clear little rectangle. But yeah, so that is the Bowdens. Let's go to the Turtle Wax. and we'll try and flood that. Okay, so the turtle wax we can completely flood, and then it sheets off pretty quickly right there, whole thing. So yeah, pretty impressive. Trying to do them both. Just, it does show, I know that the Bowdens is on that little bit of a lean, but you can see when I hold the water onto it, Bowdens is a little bit further ahead. So yeah, and the turtle wax is not easy to completely flood, as you can see. So yeah, it is also pretty impressive. It's definitely, I mean, I don't want to say they're even, but it's not far behind at all. So next up, let's bring my hose over. We'll go with the 303. Okay, so you can see the 303, super easy to flood. So try and even get the turtle wax at the same time. And yeah, clearly turtle wax are a lot more hydrophobic. That's pretty slow sheeting from the 303, but still there, still working well. But 3 weeks, when they say a year's protection, I was pretty skeptical on the year's protection, but yeah, I mean, if it stays exactly like this, then fair enough. But that's not exactly super impressive water behavior for 3 weeks. Last up, we have the Ethos. Now also this one being on the end, it's got a little bit of an advantage. You can see how easy we can flood that, and that water is really sticking around and starting to sheet. And then, yeah, once it starts, it's not too bad. It's clearly in last place though, especially since it has that slight advantage on being on the end compared to the 303. So even if we flood them both, obviously the water is going to be sort of running over towards the Ethos. So actually, there we go. Yeah, they're pretty even, I'd say. So yeah, there we go. Neither of those are looking really, in my mind, very good. The turtle wax and Bowdens, though, they do look really good. 3 weeks, I mean, to look really good, it's not really anything too impressive, but yeah, those two are looking great still. These other two after 3 weeks, not looking the best. So what we'll do now, we will now put the hose into a mist function, and we'll see how it sort of looks bead wise. All right, so just before we put the beads on there, I did quickly just dry the panel off with my blow car dryer, just to, yeah, give it a nice, completely dry start. So now we can try and just mist over the entire section. So now we'll bring the camera in nice and close so you guys can see. So there is your Bowden's own bead machine. So I'll try and move really slow, because sometimes when I'm editing, I move the camera too fast on the beads. It's kind of hard to see. And also bring it in nice and close. So yeah, you can see perfectly round beads. Really nice. So now we'll come over to the turtle wax. So again, really nice beads. Not quite as nice as bead machine. They're definitely not perfect and round, which they were at the start. So, I mean, there is turtle wax. There is the bead machine. So, yeah, I can see a difference in my eyes. Not sure if you guys can on camera, but there's not much of a difference between those two. But when you go from this turtle wax over to the 303, which is here, you can clearly see that's not a nice, perfectly round bead at all. So there's the tape line separating the two. So over this side here, you can see the turtle wax. Here is the tape, and here is the 303. Hopefully I've been saying those in the correct order. I have a bad habit of calling the 303 the turtle wax and vice versa, but over this side is the 303, this side is the turtle wax. So yeah, you can see, moving along, clear difference. So yeah, there we go. Now we'll come over lastly to the Ethos. Now the Ethos, I probably didn't put as much of the hose over this little bottom section, but over here at the front we got pretty even, and it also not the best beads. So trying to go nice and slow so you guys can see, but yeah, I mean still obviously beading up quite well when you compare it to the bare paint with just the masking tape line, but for 3 weeks I don't see this lasting the 6 months as advertised, which is, like I've said a few times in this video, is a little bit of a shame because I kind of really did like this Ethos product, how easy it was to apply, the smell. I felt it felt nice and slick, so I felt it was going to be good competition for the Bowden's Own. But yeah, at this point you can tell, especially because we already know the Bowden's Own is going to stay like it is for a little while yet before it starts to sort of fall into this type of beading. We do know that, yeah, unless this Ethos stays exactly like this for the next 5 months, I don't see it lasting the 6 months. But so yeah, there we go. There's the beading. Now what I'll do is I'll grab the hose again, and I'm just going to hold in front, and we can just watch the hydrophobic effect. So you can see holding that there, that water is just completely disappearing. It does not stick at all. While you're spraying the hose, it is just going. And then you get some larger beads with more water there, so really nice. Coming over to the turtle wax, we'll do the exact same thing. We'll hold that on. So you can straight away see that. So watch as I let go of the hose, the water kind of takes, it's sort of sticking for a little bit of time and then runs away, whereas the Bowdens, you can see, almost instantly disappears. So yeah, you can tell the Bowden's Own is looking the best in that way. Coming to the 303, quite the step down. So yeah, that's quite obvious that it's not as good with that water, the way it's sort of holding on. And lastly, the Ethos, which is on the angle. You can see after we let go, that water takes a little bit to move along. And so because I just held the hose down the end there, we've got some larger beads we can go across and check. So Ethos, still, like I said, beading quite well, but not as good. 303, still beading, but you can see here, it looks like basically army, like camouflage, the way the beads are shaped, which is similar to the tape line. Whereas up here, it's looking pretty good. And then the turtle wax looks pretty good, but again, not as good as the Bowden's Own. So there we go. Just while I've got the blow car dry set up, let's move my other camera out of the way. Just going to flick it on. Alright, so it just dried the panel off as you saw. I tried to just quickly hold the camera in place so I can see that, just like every other test, the turtle wax and the Bowdens the water is just disappearing. And then as we're trying to blow off with the 303 and the Ethos, it's kind of sticking and taking its time. So basically, if you had any of these on your car, you're driving along, it's rained, and you hit the motorway, with these two, that water is just going to run straight off the paint and the glass and wherever else you've applied it. Whereas these two, it's going to be sticking around quite a bit more. So you might arrive to your destination with a dry car with basically in most panels with these two, but the other two not so much. So that's why I sort of am using the car dryer to just sort of show you guys that difference. But yeah, I think that is everything we have to show and talk about for the 3-week update. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. This is, yeah, pretty interesting test. Some of these products are a lot more expensive than others, so it is pretty interesting to see if they're worth the money. So far, I think I can already make an answer on some of them, but we're going to wait till the end before we get our final thoughts. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. Even just if you want to say, you know, thanks for the videos, appreciate it, I would appreciate that. And if you haven't already subscribed, definitely go down, click the subscribe button. There's plenty more videos like this to come, plus full car detail videos and reviews and tests of other products. So yeah, with all that said, until next time, I'll catch you guys later.